Hi, I'm Don Bodan from SampleLibraryReview.com. Today we're going to be checking out the Modern Pop Grooves MIDI pack, as well as the Modern Pop EZKeys MIDI pack. With these two Modern Pop MIDI packs, Toontrack set out to deliver grooves that had that tight pocket feel, yet often a bottomless creative well of opportunities. I've been a fan of Toontrack's EZDRummer line for some time. The software is pretty easy to use, it's stable, and it comes with an ever-expanding sample collection of kits. But the thing I love most about the Toontrack software scheme is the MIDI expansions, with dozens of session drummers laying down solid grooves for the MIDI packs in a huge variety of genres.
Jazz, blues, metal, more metal, rock, post-rock, indie rock, all the rock.
Anybody who follows the channel knows I'm not a classically trained pianist. I can bang out some melodies and chord progressions, but when it comes to nuanced piano performance, I usually have to dive into some labored piano programming or pull in a session player for depth and stylistic refinement. And that is why I was curious about the EZKeys line from Toontracks. Now, I've owned the EZKeys software for some time here, but it never quite made it into my regular workflow. The EZKeys MIDI is another ever-expanding collection in multiple genres.
We have piano MIDI in all types of genres and all types of performance styles as well. So you're really never at a loss for that core inspiration for your new keyboard track.
Modern Pop Grooves is a collection of MIDI drum performances inspired by modern pop, dance, EDM. There's 400 plus files, and all of this MIDI has been performed by session drummers with 4/4, 6/8, straight and swing feels, tempos ranging from 69 to 144 BPM. Does require EZDRummer 2 or Superior Drummer 3. MIDI Pop EZKeys is a collection of MIDI piano parts inspired by modern pop, dance, and EDM, performed by professional session players, and again delivered in 4/4, 6/8 with straight and swing feels, tempos ranging from 62 to 138 BPM. Does require the EZKeys software, and both collections here come with intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and bridge sections. Today's video is kind of fun. We're going to do something just a little bit different. I've got a couple MIDI packs, of course, that I've told you up front here. One for the EZKeys Toontracks sample library instrument, and the EZDRummer 2, which I've got a nice little collection of the EZDRummer 2 sample library modules that load into the instrument. The nice thing about these libraries is they come with the ability to load in a ton of MIDI, always constantly evolving in their styles and genres, and pulling in, some great celebrity performers as well as session players in order for you to have additional MIDI packs to play with. We're just going to be talking about Modern Pop, which is a new collection they've come out with for both EZKeys and EZDRummer 2. I'm going to kind of play through, show you a little bit of how I use them or how they can be used, and just kind of cut to the chase here. This is what we're going to end up making, utilizing the content and some of the programmability and functionality of these libraries and MIDI packs. So from here on out, let's cut back to the beginning of the video and I'll share you how I kind of came about putting this whole thing together. Diving in here, a little something different today. Going to be utilizing EZDRummer with the brand new Modern Pop Grooves, and EZKeys with the new, where's that MIDI? Here it is, Modern Pop MIDI that comes out. Now these packs are very inexpensive. They're just MIDI pack add-ons to the EZDRummer library collection, and EZKeys piano collection. Now, I only own the piano. It's got some presets, and this isn't really a video about EZKeys as much as it is to try to create something new using MIDI packs, which are so helpful when you're in a time crunch. And I'm a fan of what this developer is doing with EZDRummer and EZKeys. So let's just dig in. I'm going to try to write something here and utilize the packs and talk a little bit about them along the way. First thing you'll see is I've got the pop rock drums set up here. The MIDI browser for these libraries, for this instrument, I should say, after you buy MIDI packs and add them on, you get an unlimited amount of flexibility because it is MIDI. So you can see right here, Modern Pop Grooves, that's what I've got. We can listen to the verses that have been performed by studio drummers. So very rock with that sound. But then we go and jump into something, we go to the metal mixes here. This is a metal drum kit. You can see we've got a big old metal drum kit. And listen to the same groove. Gives it a whole different feel. Same with the rock kits. A nice ring on that snare drum sound. For my purposes, I'm gonna jump into Dream Pop. This is a collection of somewhat different sample set made up of what some modern pop groups are using. And as you can hear there, we've got a mixture between electric and acoustic drums. Just trying to find something that sounds fun. Okay, I could deal with that one. I like that one. And then you'll see we've got intros. Some different versions. Now, if you're not familiar with EZDRummer 2, you can actually pull these into the instrument itself to edit MIDI, which is great, but I find I'm much faster at editing MIDI in my DAW because I've been doing it for years. So before I actually choose something to work on, I like to listen to the chorus to see if I can find something that's going to be kind of a hook. So that's a variation of a pretty good solid backbeat. And that's pretty good too. These are the ballad presets. If we jump over to mid-tempo choruses, you can see these orange highlighted are the titles. Now, because it's MIDI, I can change my tempo, no problem. got tom grooves. Which is kind of fun here because we're using these Simmons pads. If we go to something, there we go with our indie kit. Go with this. Very different here if we go to a reggae kit. But like I said, I wanted to stick with something with this Dream Pop kit. Again, back to the choruses, because I'm trying to find something that I think is going to be fun. Give me a hook. Here's the straight 4 up tempo. That one says Caribbean flavor. Definitely does have that. Now, one thing I will say just off the bat here, this MIDI pack for Modern Pop Grooves, what it's loading up with for me is one song for a ballad, 2 songs for mid-tempo. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 songs for mid-tempo, 4/4, 2 songs for swing, 4/4, 2 songs for up-tempo, 4/4, and then we've got some straight 6/8. Ooh, I'm digging this one. Yeah, as I mentioned, some of the references, inspiration for this groove pack, and I'm hearing a little bit of Radiohead now that I got this particular set pulled up, and I'm doing a 6/8. Would like to see more in this MIDI pack, more content, but I think it adds up for as inexpensive as the MIDI is. It's still worth it in my book, but I always love to see more content, more variation. Okay, this is kind of fun. I'm going to pull up a bass guitar, just to kind of jam with it, see if I can establish something, some kind of tonal bit, using the UJam bass instrument. If you didn't see my review, I'll include a link to this one below. Maybe we're just a little too fast on that. Let's take it down a little bit. So normally when I find some kind of groove I want to dig on, I just go ahead and load it in. I just drag it right in. Now it's MIDI. Now I've got it right here as a MIDI track. You can see I'll be able to adjust, reprogram, and do a lot of with it. But one thing I do like to do, because I'm not dragging it in here and working on it as a song yet, I like to go ahead and make a note as to what it is. So this is variation 5, but it's from Modern Pop, mid-tempo, 6/8. And now that I've labeled that, if I ever need to get back to that when I'm starting somewhere else, I can say Modern Pop, mid-tempo, straight 8, variation 5. I probably should have put that it was the chorus in here. That would be the next logical step. There we go. So now I can just work on this instrument, building a little bass line inside of the loop. I don't know why I would want to do C. There we go. That's cool. That's an A minor kind of groove. And now we've got something. Just got to get that first note. I missed it when I looped back around. The other thing you could do with if you're a Logic user is you can go ahead and take your MIDI pattern here by the drummer and actually go in and save that as a groove template. So I can make this a groove. Now I should see this name pull up as my quantize right here. So now I'm just going to quickly quantize this. I probably won't leave it on because I want to keep the feel of my performance. But you can see here my MIDI is now going to be trying to line up with what the drum performance is doing. So it's really tight now. And now I think if I was to go here and change my quantize amount, strength, pull it back just a wee bit. See my MIDI notes moving. Here's 0. Here's 94. Let's just give it a little push towards that. Let's do 36 and take a listen. And I can hear this one doesn't sound right. We got some overlaps. So I think what we're going to do is select all and then remove overlaps. I usually just use the key command, but if you don't use this often, I'll show you what it is. I think it's in trim. Here it is right here. It's just what get rid of or delete what is overlapped. Let's just shorten everything and take a listen. I think this one needs to be on the beat here. Oh, just this one. Okay, and we got a little bit of flub here. And then this is a little funky. Bump, 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 bump. And this guy's a little funky too. He needs to be right on that beat, I believe. Okay, so got a little groove going now. And it's all in A minor, I believe. So let's pull up our EZKeys. And we're just going to kind of play around with some of the ideas using some of these modern pop 6/8. So let's listen to the chorus here. So that's interesting. Be some very big. Yep. Let's get rid of that. Oh, let's go up to bar 2 is where I start in the mix here. So let's put it here. So I need to go to a C minor or an A minor. And we get a very different kind of thing going on because of the chords playing over this. And I don't know if this is necessarily the right one I should use. Yeah, I think this might be better. Because we could get a little bit of performance here. Here we go. So I was just doing something simple in this groove here. And by changing up these keys overhead, we're getting something pretty cool. And I think what I might want to do, I'm going to leave that first one the way it is. I'm going to come down to here. I'm going to replace the second one. And one thing that's kind of neat here is we can do some inversions for each. Oh, and I changed the key by accident. So I muted it and back to here. Starting to get something fun there. So 2 ways I could go about it. I could force everything to do my key changes, or I could go along with what's happening here and change my bass line and get something a little bit more interesting, which I think that's the way to go right now. It's all about trying to come up with something a little more creative, maybe in your slump, or if you need something quickly. I'm not a pianist, so some of these patterns I probably might not have come up with. Changing that to the G minor. And then we can go up to the E here. And then back to the F here. So now we got the bass playing along with the chord progression generated by modern pop. I think I'd even play this part here a little differently on the bass. And I need to be in time there. So now going back to pulling this version back over here. I'm going to take the same bass line. I'm going to go ahead to my variation in my EZDRummer. And now what makes more sense to me is have the slower version play first, and then the subdivision play next. Bass line is not working because the Midi is originally not playing on the 1, or the Midi lines up before the 1, so I'm just going to move that back over. And so now we go from a little simpler drum line and a little simpler piano line. And now, because we've got MIDI keys, I've dragged the MIDI in, I can go ahead and pull up any other instrument I'd like. Say I don't really want a piano on this, and I want something a little bit more modern. Just randomly, well, not so much randomly, I think I want some kind of a keyboard. So I'm actually not even going to use this. I'm going to go to the Uvi Suite. I'm a big fan of Uvi's instruments. Let's see what we've got in my Uvi set. I'm going to go with my old favorite. I think this is it. Yeah. I use this thing all the time. UVS 3200. And I'm going to find, let's just start with the Dream Key sequence and hear what happens. Too much. Now, what I do like about this, it's a harp landscape, is the arpeggios. So I'm actually going to duplicate this, go into my MIDI. I'm going to mute all of the chord progression. And then I'm going to do the opposite for another track. Whoop. What is going on? Same keys doing the wrong thing. There we go. So now I've got another track just doing chords. And for this one, I'm going to use a different UVI instrument. Try a little Hammond organ sound, and then pan these two a little bit. Now, I like the harp landscape. It's a little bit, I think it needs a little bit of work. I think it needs to be a little bit more brilliant. So let's take a listen to that. I think what might work great is to double that performance with that piano from the EZKeys. It's playing this here that we programmed in. So I'm just going to build another track for EZKeys. Reset it. Like I said in the video, I don't use the EZKeys a lot just because I haven't figured out simple things like clicking on this. How do I delete this when I don't want it there anymore? I can't just hit delete. I can cut it up. Yeah, but that doesn't do what I really want to do. I want to be able to just delete those blocks, and I'm sure there's a simple way, but looking through quickly, I couldn't find that. So, grand piano. Let's just take a listen. And we're starting to make something happen. Again, I let the chord progression be dictated by those EZKeys chord progressions that we were playing with here. But what you'll note, I think, is it was way better than what I was doing. I was just grooving on C minor, because if I was to go in here and change my, where's my tool? Here it is. Change everything to my, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I was at A minor. So I'm just going through, I'll change everything to A minor. And what I often come up across is those who might say, this is cheating, you're letting the instrument do everything for you, it's doing your chord progression. Well, the simple truth here is I could come up with that chord progression, but the idea is I'm trying to get going quickly and jumpstart my creativity. And so something like that might be perfect for my verse, something like this for a chorus. So that's pretty fun. I think it's a fun thing. Well, one thing I probably want to do is add just a little bit of color, a little bit of dimension. And one thing that I just got yesterday is the Sample Logic and Sound Iron collaboration for map. This thing is a massive rhythm machine. I would use this for all kinds of stuff, but this particular track that we're working on, playing with here, I think what could be cool is to pull something that's got a little bit of a glitch to it. And again, we're just going to be kind of digging in, see what happens. We're going to got to remember we're in 6/8, so whatever we pull up, we're going to probably have to modify a little bit. And I'm looking at the groove, glitched and stuttered. So just by checking out these. Okay, now it's in, I got 16 steps, which would be 4/4. So in order to do a 6/8, I want to go to 20, I believe. Let's see. All right, I'm just going to go down to 10 for the time being so I can get a better feel. And sorry, we're going to need to do 12. And I'm going to turn my stutter on. Okay, starting to get somewhere. I'm going to do 24. That's what I need, my count. Way too much stutter. Here we go. Yeah, starting to line up a little bit. Again, going to 24 to extend it. We got the super loadout here. Turn the glitch on for that last two. And then we'll just add him in. And programmed him in and drag him out for the full second section. And pan him over a tiny bit, pull him down. Yeah, I feel like it's starting to get somewhere, and this was just a more of a kind of experimentation. I wanted to jump in, use some of these MIDI packs here, show you some ways how you can utilize them, how I do utilize them. Again, I do want to state that I used the EZKeys chord progression where you don't have to do that. Like I said here, we can go in and use our own chord progression and play with it to get, you know, whatever we wanted. We could do stuff totally wacky. And the advantage of these is really as though you're jamming with a pianist who knows perhaps what a good pattern to play would be, or an interesting way that they might bring something to the table, because these are all performed by session players, and you're able to utilize them in your work. Yeah, let's take one more listen to it. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I think it's one of those things that I'd either spend the next 3 or 4 hours hashing out an intro, the verse, as I already said, just jamming on that A minor might be kind of fun, and getting to this to, you know, really make the hook, this climax point for the choruses really stand out. Feel like it's a good starting point, and again, pretty pleased with what the modern pop MIDI packs have to offer. Always wish they came with a little bit more content, but you know, when you really dig in, there is quite a bit of performances included. It's just there's not so many kits, construction kits in the MIDI variety, but still a great value for what they're asking. Thanks for checking out the video. I know it's a little departure from what we normally cover. And love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Always love your support, and head over to samplelibraryreview.com.